on this computer. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome again for today's session. I'm so glad you guys have joined today also, and I believe you had a very wonderful weekend. So today's session is gonna be like an introduction to validation. I know guys have already passed with you through validation by using OSM shell. And today I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about a validation introduction, and then I think another time we'll go in advanced level validation. So bear with me for some time. We can pass on the issue of validation. Okay, why do we need to do some validation? We've mapped some of the area already, and uh, after we mapped our area, now we need to do some, we need people. There are thousands of mapper out there who are like, they are beginners mapper, they are mapper from different areas. So we always map. So after you map those data, there are the people also who validate those data that you map. So and today I want to introduce the validation to you guys, so at least you can be able to validate some of the data for beginner mappers, so that you can encourage them and correct some error that they have done. So that's why I want us to discuss about validation. And one of the purpose for us to learn about validation is to maintain the mapping in accordance with OSM standard. As we know, we have like OSM as their own standard. So if we have our own standard without validating the data, those beginners mapper and other mapper could do a lot of wrong mapping. So we need to correct them so that then they can be in a good state of mapping the OSM to map with the OSM standard. Also to meet the requirement of the team in the field. Okay, I mean, you have mapped the certain area, but what you have mapped is not really correct with what is in the ground, in the field. So we need to validate. We need people who can validate and say, okay, this process really look like this. This is the river, or this is the stream of water, this is the road. This road is like this is the primary road, this is secondary, this is the building, this is the church, this is what. So we all need those kind of information. We really need to validate all the mapping that we're doing. That's why we have to read or we have to learn about validation. So things that we have to take into consideration when we are doing a validation, I mean, we have to make sure that the correct tagging and correct depiction of features are really, I mean, if they say like, this is the unclassified load, it has to be a classified load. This is a river, it has to be a river, okay? This is like, uh, this is like a national park. It has to be a national park. So the we have to make sure that the tag that are used are really correct and they're corresponding with the depict features. Like I say, this is like this is a house, it has to be a house. Like this is the road, it has to be a road. This is the river, it has to be a river. So those kind of things, we have to make sure the tagging are very correctly. And also the alignment of the feature with each other and with the background of the image. That's why I said before you start mapping any kind of work, you should read an introduction. After you read an instruction, it could help you to choose the imagery that they advised you to use. And also when you want to validate certain people work, you should also read the instruction and also read the comment of the beginner mapper who mapped the area. Maybe they were like they were instructed to use maybe Esri image or maybe Bing or maybe Maxwell, but you want to validate it, and you want to validate his or her data or her mapping by using different background image. That could lead to some misalignment of the mapped object that he mapped with the background image. So we have to read the comment of the mappers, and also we have to select the correct background image for the validation. Another thing we have to note is like when you're a validator, you should use the language. You should choose the quite good language for you to encourage the mapper. Because if you put a comment on the work of a person who mapped, you have to know that the person put a time, put a dedication on mapping that. So please don't discourage the new mapper. So use a quite good language like to encourage the mapper, even though he or she made some error. Please use the quite good language. Use a quite good language, the language that you can feel comfortable when somebody use it to you. Because we have a lot of people, we have a lot of mapper from different areas. So watch your words and be very selective on the word that you're going to use. So we have to encourage new mappers when validating their work, and also we have to help them to improve their mapping. Okay, so when you give a comment on somebody's work, you have to be very, very careful, because people are so sensitive. So we have to use a very good language, and also we have to encourage them to improve their mapping. We should always give them the guidance to correct mapping errors, because we know it's a journey. Mapping is a journey. The way you start map, with the time you will be very good with maps. So don't be like so harsh on the new mappers. Just use a quite good language to encourage them to map, to correct those errors, encourage them to do this, encourage them to collect this, encourage them to do this, so that they can, at the end of the day, they can be a very good mapper, because we just need a time to be a good mapper. Validation target, we have to concentrate on achieving the quality over quantity. When you're doing a validation, make sure, don't push a mapper to map a lot of stuff. Don't even want to validate a lot of squared. No, just take your time. Because after you validate that one, after you validate the mapping activity, you're allowing people to use the data that you validate. So we have to be very extra careful when validating all of the data. That's why we have to check over the quality over quantity. Also, we have to validate all tasks squared by the beginners. Why do we need to validate the tasks that are beginner map? Because if you correct the beginner mapper, you give her or him a chance to keep on working, to keep on mapping, So we need that. Give them a feedback, whether it's a good mapping or bad mapping. Be open on that. Say like, you did an awesome job. You did a great job. You could have done this and this and this. This looked great. Can you try this? Can you try this? So we have to be very, very friendly. And so as I said, we're going to learn today about the validation by using JOSM. So there are some JOSM plugins that we have to have them in our JOSM tool. So one of them is called the building tool and imagery offset. There is a measurement, and there is a tracer, and there is util plugin tool. So we are going to see all of that. So that was my introduction on the validation and what. So I'm going to share with you my screen on JOSM, and I'm going to show you how can you have these JOSM plugins. So where we have to go is we have to go on the edit, and after going to edit, we are going to preferences. So we have to select the preferences. After I select preferences, I can see here there's a display, there's the OSM data, there's a geopoint, there's a color. I'm going there to plug in. So I'm selecting a plug in. which sometimes gonna give me like the all plugin that are variable in the plugin session. So I've said the first thing that I'm going to select, it's building tool, and I'm going to select the building tool to check it. Let me see, building tool. Let me see. Here is a building tool. I have to check it. After I'm checking it, that's okay. I'm going to another, like, which one? I said, like, which one? I say imagery offset. So I'm going to search for imagery offset. I guess it's here, imagery offsets already selected on me. So I don't know about your side, but you have to check it. And another one also I have to check is measurement. I have to take a measurement plugin. Where is measurement? Okay, measurement. Measurement, here is measurement. I'm going to check it. That's okay. And which one? The last one is, no, last one. It's a Teresa. Let me check Teresa. After I check that, I'm going to write Teresa. Sorry. Oh no. Did I? Okay, double arrow. Here. Okay. And then which one? Utils plugin tool. Let me see. Utils plugin tool. Util. There, it's already there. It's already selected. So you see, after I've selected all of those, now I'm good to start using those tools to validate on other people activities. So 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 we are going to see on how, let me another, we're going to see on how we can start like validating other people works. Let's see, because I think I've already given you the instruction and the introduction of how you can do mapping and the plugins that are necessary for that. I'm going to share also another slide. Sorry. Yes, I have to share this with you. This one. As usual, I'm going to log in. Granting access, yes. And let's see how, yeah, so we're going to select the work. Really? Okay, I'm going to explore the project. It's going to take some time due to internet. Let's give it a time. Okay, here it is. So I want like a beginner's mapper. I would go with FGM. Okay, let's see. There's some beginner mapper here. Like, let's try this. Katavi. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to validate, contribute. I don't want to map the task. This requires me to map. I just need to validate contribution. I want I want to validate the task. I have to select the task that I can be able to validate. It's gonna take some time, I guess. It's a beginner. Okay, new projects, beginner projects. Let's try anything. I don't need it to be like FGN. Let's go with anything. Thank you. Like, I'm going to take this Kenya mapping in Molo Town. What do they want? No, I don't want that. Really? Wow, let me check. Okay. Yeah, FGM. Thanks. Here I have some like, let's say this. It's gonna take some time, blah, 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 blah. And yes. Do I want to contribute? Yes. Contribute. Really? Swami, ready for validation. Yes. So, I'm going to check for ready for validation, and let me see. There are some of work here which are ready for validation. As I can see here on my map, as we see in the legions, like available for mapping, ready for validation, more mapping needed, finished. So let's go for ready for validation. I guess we have a lot of projects that are ready for validation. I'm going to select the validate selected project, and then it's gonna communicate with my, it's gonna communicate with my, what? Come on, man. I need to start validating. Gotta stop your behavior. Thanks, man. There. Thanks, man. Here. Can you guys see my screen? Like, can you see my, can you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but can you see my JOSM?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, now I have to read some instruction on this project. What was this map instructed? Like, okay, the project was a project specific mapping node. They want us to use a Maxa premium imagery. Okay, if the primal image is unclear or it has clouds cover, please check other image include being Ashley before making any bad imagery. Okay, so these are the instructions that they've given to me, and I want to see the history of people who have done this. He looked for validation 1 month ago, this person, and I even got mapped this some times ago, actually. And this is me trying to validate this project. So let's see, let's take a look of it. Did I really select the instructed imagery? Let me see the instruction. It say like use Maxa premium imagery. And what did I choose here? I've chosen Maxa Premium Imagery. Can you, I mean, now we start seeing like here, you can see like first, the buildings are not really aligned with the background imagery, right? You can see here, these buildings, there's this building and there's this. Maybe this person used another imagery because he didn't, he wasn't able to differentiate or to see some features by using this image. So maybe he tried to use another image. Let me try to use another one. Maybe he used Bing. I'm just assuming. I want to see if the object really aligned with Bing. Okay. So for checking this, I feel like you guys can see. I mean, I think he used Bing. What do you guys see here? I think he used Bing, right? But he was directed to use